I'm also going to be at Rollies next week, or this week. So I'm going to be in Queensland at the Rollies V-Twin Expo. I'm going to see what I can see there. Man, if you see me, come up, say hello. I love that sort of thing. Welcome back to EBT Performance Pakenham, the home of Squid Speed Shop. Today I've got something a little bit different for you. We've got an old Wide Glide, that's right. So 1998 Harley Davidson Wide Glide. It's just had the S&S 100 cubic inch Sidewinder kit installed. So that's the 100 cubic inch big bore kit with the S&S 585 cam. Now if you'd been following along and you'd seen some of my shorts or on my Instagram posts, these heads I had sent off to Rams, did their magic, always knocking it out of the park. They're the best in Australia, there's no doubt about it. It's also running the Daytona Twin-Tech ignition system so that we can get the timing dialed. So now that the motor's built, it's done a bit of a run-in, we've got to make sure that this carby is able to meter out the correct amount of fuel to have this thing running tip-top. Now, tuning a carby bike, there's a little bit of a different school of thought. EFI bikes, I can tune them in so many different increments to get them running perfect absolutely everywhere. With the carby, you've only got a couple of circuits to work with. You've got an idle jet, you've got a main jet, and you can mess around a little bit with the seat height on the needle to change like throttle response, and then we've got a throttle pump. Now this is the Harley Davidson CV, which means we can't really tune the throttle pump itself, but there's still plenty we can do to get this thing running right. The other big difference is how I go about gathering the data on the dyno. Because we only have the 3 circuits we can mess around with, it means I'm not doing 1,000 runs at different throttle positions. No, I'm seeing what the bike's cruising like, I'm seeing how the bike responds to heavy throttle input, and I'm seeing how the bike runs at heavy throttle or wide open throttle. I'm collecting all of that data and using that to optimize the jets in this carby so that it has exactly what it needs to get this 100 cubic inch motor tearing. So I'll put my sensors in it, we'll get it on the dyno, we'll see where it's at. But I'll give you guys just a little bit of a look at this beautiful bike. Man, it is in great condition. For its age, it just looks amazing. Paintwork, old school cool right there. And like all of the heads that Rams do for me, we've got the logo. Have a look at that. How sharp does it look? If that doesn't scream performance, I don't know what does. This bike is beautiful. I do a lot of stuff with, you know, the modern M8s. Man, how can you say no to an old Wide Glide? To me, that was always the look of Harley Davidson. And when I started to get into Harleys, it was the old Wide Glides. I thought that's what a Harley looks like, and that's cool as hell. So we're in the dyno room with the old beast. I've got the sensors in place. We're gonna run it up. Let's see where our tuner's at, where the air fuel's sitting, and get this thing running as best that we possibly can. Let's get after it. Alrighty guys, we've done a couple of runs just to see where we're at. So, first set of runs, I'm really just checking to make sure the bike is running. That's the biggest deal. Can it do a power pull? How's it looking at cruise? Are we in super lean territory? All of those sort of things, just safety checks. The Daytona Twin-Tech wasn't even set up yet, no timing added into it or anything like that. So I knew, being pretty conservative, we were safe to check it. This is what it's done. So there we can see it's making 80 horsepower and 103 foot-pound. And the mixture down the bottom, that's for the front cylinder. Looking pretty rich. And so this thing's got no timing in it. I knew the thing was rich after doing these runs. So then I started playing with the Twin-Tech, setting that up for what this combination is and how I like it to be. So we punched in that. I'll just bring that one up. So then here we go. This is the power run with the correct timing settings. And you can still see we're rich everywhere. We're now making 103 horsepower, 108 foot-pound, and I've let the thing rev out to where I want. So, the time came to pull out the jets and see what is in it and what am I changing it to. So, if I look back at my little notes here, so I've got cruising around, front cylinders sitting on about 13, rear cylinders sitting on about 12. That's air fuel ratio. Idle is at 12 on both cylinders. And if I wind in the idle air screw, I can bring it back to 13, but then it's closed. So therefore we're operating at a minimum level, a maximum level. We're hitting the ceiling there that I wasn't a big fan of. So I pull out the jets and what are we running? We're running a 190 in the main and a 48 in the pilot. So now I have swapped them out. So we're running a 185 in the main and a 45 in the pilot. And then I've turned some idle air back into it to richen that back up with the smaller pilot jet. Throttle response has been great so far. So my inkling is that the needle, I won't have to mess around with that too much. So now I'm going to do some more runs, see what it is at heavy throttle, see what cruise is looking like, and then we make a judgment call. Is this better? Is it worse? Do we need a smaller jet? Do we need a bigger jet? But hopefully this one's on the money. The quicker you are to get the jet size right, the less time you got to spend burning your hand and getting covered in fuel, getting to the jets. All right, let's do a run. Let's see where we're at. All right, all the data is collected from our jet change. I'm much happier with the mixtures now. Managed to squeeze a little bit more horsepower out of it, although I'm not happy with the timing. I've put a little bit too much in it, so I'm going to knock that back a hair. But going through my note, after adjusting the idle air, just to get that right after your jet change. So after getting the idle air set where I wanted it, 13.5, super happy with that. Cruising around 80k an hour, happy days. We're at 14 and 13.9 on the rear cylinder, up to 90k an hour at 13.8, 13.8, absolutely perfect for what I want. And then cruising at 100, 13.9, 13.9. Now that is what I want on cruise. It's the best for fuel economy while maintaining a good temperature. And that's what I care about with all of my bikes. Fuel economy and temperature control. It's a fine line balancing those two things. Now the main jet, we had to go down a size, mainly because we've got the Vantanine short shots on it with the quiet baffle. So that's choking the motor up just a little bit. It's not breathing as well as it could be. But we've also got to look after our neighbours, don't we? Yes. No, we don't all have to have our exhaust bashing us in the ears on long rides. So this bike's running the quiet baffle to make it a more pleasant touring bike. So with our jet change, we're sitting at 88 horsepower, nearly 89 and 111 foot-pound. And I'm pretty happy with that at the minute. I've now just got to double check after pulling back the timing just a hair. And I've got to make a fine adjustment to the needle, to our throttle needle. I just want to put a small shim in there. Just get the fuel activating a little bit faster, just to help with any hesitation on heavy throttle response. So I'm going to do that. We'll do a final power run. We'll see where it's at with a little less timing in it. And just keep in mind, we've got the quiet exhaust on it, guys. So it's an S&S Sidewinder kit, CNC ported heads from Rams, Vantanine short shots with the quiet baffle, stock carby. stock intake manifold. So there are our points of restriction. And you got to remember, this bike, it only came out with 54 horsepower. And that was claim numbers. I've seen plenty make 48 on my dyno, so we're getting close to double. So keep that in mind, guys. We're all too used to seeing, you know, my 170 horsepower bikes. This bike had stuff all when it came out. We've nearly doubled it, and the thing's gonna rip. So don't let the internet ruin your horsepower figures. That's really the baseline of it. All right, let me make me little adjustments. I'll get it back on the dyno and see where we finally end up. All right, I'm super happy with the small shim under the needle that I've put in. I'm happy with how the timing is responding now that I've backed it off a little bit. This thing is set to kill now. I am super happy with the result. Here it is. We got 90 horsepower, 115 foot-pound of torque in the end. And to me, that's just fantastic. This thing is gonna feel super fast considering how light they are compared to a modern day Harley. I appreciate all the feedback that I've had about the new microphone setup. Thanks guys, I really did need your input on that one. And so far it's all thumbs up, so I'm gonna keep persisting with it. I'm gonna keep learning this Insta360 because I want you guys to enjoy what I'm putting out as well. As much as I'm enjoying making it, I'm enjoying showing you what I've got going on every day. So thanks to everybody who got in the comments and said, yeah, audio's better, thumbs up, all of that. I really do, guys, thank you. Make sure if you get the chance to come in, get yourself some merch, the t-shirts, the beanies. I know you guys want the crew necks. I'm working on it desperately. Don't worry, they'll be here in time for summer. Yay! Everybody wants a jumper for summer. Yes! But no, I'm working on a couple of other things as well. I'm also gonna be at Rollies next week. Or this week. So I'm going to be in Queensland at the Rollies V-Twin Expo. I'm going to see what I can see there. Man, if you see me, come up, say hello. I love that sort of thing. And I couldn't thank Rollies enough for putting it on. It's going to be a great day. I'm going to get to see a whole bunch of people I haven't seen in a long time and maybe some new faces, eh? Go check out the website, check out Instagram, check out Facebook, like, comment and subscribe. Come on. We're doing so well, I can't believe how many subscribers there are already, and the views are out of this world. I'm blown away every day, looking at it, just being like, wow, this many people want to watch what I'm up to every week. It's fantastic, guys. So keep being legends. Until next week, eh? Uru.